We in there, bit. We in there, bit. Oh, shit. Oh! I probably should get a more stable stand. Alright, let me go ahead and share this before I start. I don't really know how many people are going to get on here tonight. I know the playoffs are on. I know everybody watches sports. I'm not really a sports person. I really only watch fighting, so you know what I mean? I check the scores after stuff's done. Like, I'm gonna see if the Lakers won. I know they're playing, but I'm not about to watch the game. But yeah, I wait to see who gets on here. Talk about some stuff. If you drop in, say what's up. You know, ask a question, tell me something, whatever you want to do. I see I got one person up in here, but I don't know who it is. My boy Phil. Ugly boys on deck. We in a building. We in a building. Take this drink out of the way. Phil, you not watching the game, bro? I don't know if you're really into basketball like that or what. Yeah, if you asking what game, that means you're not into it, bro. So we don't even got to talk about it. But the Lakers and Golden State are playing. Could be the last game of the series. We'll see. But like I was just saying, I was a hooper back in the day, but I don't really watch basketball, so yeah, no. It's when Tim Duncan retired. I feel that. But how was the run though? I know you said you didn't see the stats, but I mean like feel wise and shit like that. You feel like you're on track with your goals and stuff, or what? Conversational. Okay, that's straight. I don't know if I asked you. What you planning to do with running, bro? You planning on doing something with it, or you just wanna just keep being what's the word? A hobbyist? Do you wanna just chill, never wanna take it seriously, or you like got a bigger plan, like you wanna run a marathon one day, or you wanna hobbyist? Okay, no, I respect that, bro. It's actually harder to be a hobbyist than it is to take it seriously because like if anything goes wrong, you're like, why am I doing this, bro? Okay, that's something. I feel like that's maybe taking it a little bit further than a hobbyist, but still, I mean, if you don't aim to like try to win anything, I guess you're still being a hobbyist. But I feel like the further, it's like if you said like, oh, I'm not taking weightlifting seriously, I just want to like lift at worlds. It's like, whoa, like you kind of are taking it seriously then for a regular person, anyways. So I don't know. That's a weird one. Obviously, like you just said, like if you're a former athlete, like you're automatically extreme, whether you whether you believe it or not. Like we just don't have the same mentality as people that never play sports. So for us, for us being a hobbyist or like not taking something seriously is still for regular people. They're like, oh, bro, I'm not a competitive athlete. I'm just trying to blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to be competitive either. I just don't want to be trash. 20 minute what? 20 minute 5K? Bro, you're gonna run faster than a 20-minute 5K. Oh, 15-minute. Okay. Was I in the Marines? Nah. I was in the Army. Where you get Marines from? I remember you. Yo, how come every time you drop in, you just say the most wrong thing? Don't take that seriously, by the way. But no, no, no. I really wasn't in the Marines. I was in the Army. Where did the Marines thing come from? Oh, okay. You were kidding about the 15 minutes. So you're trying to do a 20-minute, bro. I feel like the 20 minutes is a little bit too low of a bar for you. That's just me. I feel like you will 100% do 20 minutes, but I think for right now it's good. And when you reach it, maybe you can reset that goal. But I must have been the Army Special Forces. I don't know, man. You sound like a spy right now. So if I was, I wouldn't tell you. I might want to close my window right now. You might got a sniper on me right now, bro. What makes you say I would have been Special Forces? Make it and readjust. Yeah, that's the way to go about it, man. I think 20 is a good goal for right now, though. I can't remember what you said you did your last one in, but I do remember you saying you could have done it faster and like the hills caught you off guard and stuff. But also, this just goes back to what we were just talking about. I automatically have an extreme mindset because I just do. And so I'm thinking about the times I ran as a teenager. And, you know, I'm thinking like I was a teenager. Of course you can do better than that. But I did do it my entire life up to that point, and I was like very serious when I was doing it as a teenager. So not really the same thing. I'm a big dude like a Navy SEAL. Fair enough. But when I was in the Army, or I should say when I first joined, I was like 140 pounds, bro. And even when I got finished, still I was like 185 pounds. Like, I've gotten bigger because I'm not in the military anymore and I don't have to pass a run test. I still do cardio all the time, but like, it was important to me that I made a certain score on my PT test, so I kept my weight intentionally low so that I could run faster. Yeah, 25. So 25 sounds like if I didn't know you and you just told me you had an athletic background, I would say like, yeah, with a little bit of training, you're easily gonna go under 25. Um, and like, you know, 25 to 21. Obviously, these are like random arbitrary times, right? But 25 to 21, like once you get to 21, I say like that's when you're like winning local 5Ks and stuff if no one serious is there. Like if you run a 20-minute 5K, like you're gonna beat most of the people in a local 5K. I remember when I first got finished with high school and I ran a few 5Ks, like I would take like second or third to like some serious runner and I would run them in like 18, 19 without like really trying to like there would be no one around. So 25 is straight. I got a Spanish question. What's the difference between esta and aquella? Um, in short, the difference is esta is here, esta is here, aquella is there. I can't tell you like the real specific definition because it's something that like there is a rule, right? Aquella is like if me and you are both right here, aquella is over there. It's that thing, right? And then there's esta and esta. Esta is okay. Esta is something that's close to me, but not close to you. Esa is something that is close to you, but not close to me. I might have just got those last two mixed up. But it really doesn't matter because it's just like English where like technically, if I'm holding this, like technically, it will be like more correct to say, yeah, this cup. I could say that cup, but it's like, why would you say that about something that you're holding? I would say like that cup over there, or like if you're next to me, I say, yeah, this guy right here. If I'm pointing to someone over there, I say that guy over there. It just so happens that in Spanish there's a little extra one. Um, like I said, don't quote me on esa, esta, este, ese. But for the most part, if you said este or esta, no one's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you said esta when you should have said esa." Like it doesn't matter. Like people also say like eso instead of ese and stuff like that. So pretty, like I said, pretty similar to English in the sense that the most important thing is communicating that thing or this thing. The very specifics of it, most people don't know grammar rules. Like you just do what everyone else is doing. If everyone else was wrong, you would just be wrong, but you would be right because everyone's wrong together. 17 was the male winner. 17-19 was the woman. Whoo, she was smoking, bro. For wait. What level was this 5K at? Because at a local 5K, that's cooking, bro. Unless this was like a citywide 5K. I can't remember. I don't remember what you said it was. She was ungodly fast. Yes, she was, bro. A 17, that's cooking, bro. I would say the majority of my cross country races were at 17, bro. I think my fastest 5K ever was like a high 15. And it was the exact opposite of what you were talking about for your race. It was like most of that shit was downhill and we was just like flying, bro. And so like yeah, I could say like, oh yeah, I ran a 15:53 once, but like in my mind, I'm like I really didn't. Like that was one time. Like the majority of my races were high 16s, low 17s, bad days were like low 18s, right? So 17 is cooking, bro. Especially if the course wasn't easy. That means she's a god for real. Oh, that's the worst feeling. She passed me at the 5K turnaround. Bro, I'll never forget. I don't remember exactly what course this was. I want to say it was in I want to say it was Pflugerville Connolly. And Kyle Thompson, bro, we were running like this 5K was it was a 3 mile loop, right? So you were doing the same thing 3 times. And so very similar to that turnaround, like you just said, you could see the finish line when you were like doing your second loop or going into your third loop. And I just remember I'm huffing and puffing because like I'm running for my life, bro. And I look and I hear all this cheering. I look over and I see Kyle like dip his head across the finish line, and I'm like, "Am I on the third loop?" And then I realized I had just finished. I had just finished like 2K, and so or not 2K, sorry, the second mile. And I was like, "There's no way he's finished already, bro. There's no way, bro." And I came through, and that day it was like I said, it was a tough course. So I finished at like I don't know, it might have been mid or high 18s. And I was like, Kyle, like, what did you run? And he was like, bro, that course was tough. I ran a 14:50. And I was like, what? Like, what, bro? Like that. That's one of those experiences that you have where you're like, I'm never gonna make it to the top of the sport. Like it takes one of those kind of things to happen to you to realize there's people that are different, bro. There's really people that we're 16 years old, bro. If he's already doing this, he's gonna be here in 10 years. If I'm that far away from him already, if we both work at the same pace, he's cooking me, bro. Like you have one of those realizations, like, man, I'm really not special. Like I'm just better than all of these mediocre kids, but I'm not special though. He was special. When you went from 140 to your weight now, was it eating 3 times a day? or was it mostly from working out every day? What's more important? That is a simple but complex answer. If all you cared about was gaining weight, then your food would be more important. If you cared about gaining weight and having a certain body composition, then working out would be important. But obviously, like you know from obese people, if you want to gain weight, it takes food. And you know from endurance athletes and combat sports athletes and even weightlifters, you can lift a shit ton of weight and not gain any weight if you don't eat enough food to gain weight. There's lots of weightlifters that lift in like the what is 67 kg. 67 is probably like 150 to like 150 pounds, and they're putting 400 pounds over their head. If only lifting weights made you gain weight, those dudes would be huge. But they're not eating a lot of food intentionally, or they just have crazy metabolisms and whatever. Regardless, they're still doing what it takes to maintain that weight. They're not just eating like whatever they want because they would grow out of their weight class. So, I hope that was a good enough answer for your question. If it's not, I can get more specific. But yeah, if you want to gain weight, you need to eat more food. If you don't want to gain weight, or you want to gain a little bit of weight, probably want to control that eating a little bit. 147.4. I just I just went. I did 70. I knew that was 154, so I just went back a little bit. I'm like, 150. All right, Planet Moolah. 3 meals a day is not an amount of food. It's a frequency. I like. I don't. You don't know me, but I was a personal trainer for I don't know. Let's say 8 years, and now I'm a strength and conditioning coach. The amount of times that people tell me like, "Oh, bro, no, like I'm telling you, I eat so much. I eat 5 times a day," and I'm like, let's sit down, let's track your food, show me what you're eating, bro. Motherfuckers is eating yogurt and calling that a meal. Oh well, I had this Caesar salad. It's 300 calories, bro. It doesn't matter if you eat 5 times a day. If all of those meals add up to 1,500 calories, you might as well eat one time a day. Me personally, keeping it all the way honest with you, like I eat sometimes 2 times a day. Like I'm just not. I eat a lot in one sitting, but I'm not like someone that just like munches on stuff all day. Like my stomach will just get weird if I do that. So like today, 4:45 in the morning, bro. Pause. Steak, steak egg burrito. It's like a steak egg hash brown burrito. That's just probably 1,400 calories by itself, bro. It's huge. You'll be full for like 6 hours after you eat it. Yes, I get it at the gas station. It's not disgusting because these really cool Mexican ladies cook it. It's not just like some random person at a gas station cooking that joint. It's like a little Mexican spot in the gas station, all right? I ate that, bro. I didn't eat until my workout like 6 hours later. I worked out, finished my clean and jerks, finished my front squats, finished some more stuff. I ate a little bit. I ate like some tuna and crackers and like what did I have with that? I had like some chips, like some potato chips. That shit was not that much because I'm honestly still full from the big ass burrito in the morning. Fast forward, I get home. Me and my wife eat at like that was like 2 hours ago, at like 6 o'clock. We ate these tortas, and those were huge. They're huge like the steak burritos. So probably getting 1,000, 1,500 calories again. So in 2 meals, I probably not even joking covered 3,000 calories. And this wasn't really like a heavy day of eating for me. I just like it was just two random things that I ate that covered that much. So it's not the amount of time that you're eating, it's a specific amount of food to give you an energy surplus to cause you to gain weight. And if you don't like this, like I'm not above having a basic conversation. I never am. But if you don't know what like a caloric deficit is, a caloric surplus is, like what an energy balance is, then we would have to talk about that, which is like the most basic. Uh, should I aim for 2,000 calories if I'm only 150 pounds? It's not as simple. Like calories are not the only thing that. Okay, so we do have to talk about energy balance. Check this out. You're 150 pounds. That kind of matters. It kind of doesn't. What matters is you burn. Let me do it this way. You burn this many calories a day from whatever activity you do. I don't know what your job is. I don't know how much you work out. Doesn't matter. This is how much you burn per day. Let's just say you have a semi-active job. You work out 3 times a week. This is how much you burn every day throughout the week. If you eat this much, if you burn 2,200 calories a day and this is 2,000, you will lose weight. If this is 2,200 and it's even, you will not gain any weight, you will not lose any weight. If you eat 2,300 calories, you will gain weight. That's how it works. If you want to gain weight faster, you put more calories on top of that. So it's not like I said, your weight matters in a sense, the calories matters in a sense, but they don't matter in isolation. It's not like, oh, I'm 150 pounds, that means I need to eat 2,000 calories. That might not be enough, honestly. It probably isn't. It could be, but it probably isn't. If you do any kind of activity, it's probably not enough. Might be. You get like 800,000 per meal, 2 times a day in a shake, and then take that shake because I'm thirsty. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like everyone has different eating habits. I never try to change people's habits. It's just you have to change like something to meet your goal, right? Like you don't have to stop eating to lose weight. You need to manage what you're eating in those. Like if you ate 5 times a day, you need to manage what you're eating in those 5 meals. Same thing. If you want to gain weight, we don't have to ramp it up to eating 8 times a day. It's like, yeah, instead of eating a salad, maybe eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and get you some calories in your meal, something like that, right? So, like I said, it's about the energy balance. If you're in a deficit, you're gonna lose weight. If you're in a surplus, you're gonna gain weight. It does get a little more complex than that because you got hormones and stuff that play a part, but that's that's really complex stuff, and most people don't need to worry about that. But there are like a handful of people that have hormonal problems that like really the energy balance thing doesn't change, but the way it applies is going to be different because your metabolism is screwed up, right? So like if you have a thyroid problem, maybe like no amount of food you eat is going to be enough and you're going to just like diminish into nothing. I had a friend, we were in what, fifth grade. His name was Jimmy, and Jimmy was like super, super. Like we're in fifth grade. This dude's probably like 250 pounds. Not even joking. And I promise you, like in the span of like a month or two, he was skinny, bro. Like not like, oh wow, you're not big anymore. No, it was like Jimmy. Like, are you okay, bro? And that was the first time I learned about a thyroid, like about the thyroid gland, because he told me he had hyperthyroidism. I didn't know what that was. I was like a smart kid, so I went and like looked it up and read about it. And so I've always known that your thyroid could cause problems like that. But yeah, I saw that firsthand, bro. Like he had to take medication. Like he almost died, bro. Like his thyroid was going crazy. Like no amount of food that he ate was enough for his metabolism, and he just was like wasting away. It was crazy. So, like I said, that is like a very, 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 very small percentage of people. Most people are just uh, kind of doing what you did in the chat. They're not sure what they're doing, so they're like, oh, like I read an article that said I should be eating this much, and I'm not losing weight, so I think something's wrong with me. But it's like they just don't know what they're doing. It's not that they have hormonal problems or something like that. So Yeah, no problem, bro. Like I said, I'm never above a basic conversation. Sometimes it gets weird because I've had this conversation so many times. So it kind of I have to just like make sure I don't go into like autopilot mode. Like I don't want you to feel like I don't care. It's just I've done it so many times. I'm like, damn. It's like 1,000 times I said this. Um, but no, I don't mind. Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like, especially like I said, we're in like fifth grade, bro. So I'm like, what is going on? That shit was scary, bro. But yeah, if you got any other questions like that, let me know. Like I said, I was a personal trainer for a long time. Technically, I train people online, but I used to be like a full time trainer at a commercial gym. Like that was like all I did. Now, like I said, I'm a strength and conditioning coach for the government, so that's my full time job. I don't train people so much individually now as I do like big groups. Um, so like this conversation that we're having now, I don't have these conversations with them. Um, I work them out. I send them on their way. We got a whole staff, nutritionist, physical therapist, psychologist, stuff like that. So if someone did have a question like this, now I send them to nutrition. Whereas before I did everything because I was like this one person's trainer. So I was like, oh, let's sit down and talk about this. We go work out. Let's blah blah blah. Let's blah blah blah. So I said all that to say most of the time I know what I'm talking about. So if you got questions, you're in the right spot. You're getting free information that some dickheads try to charge you for. And it's not that serious. The Explorer. Who is this? I gotta make sure you're not a Russian spy too, bro. Y'all be coming up on here like, hey, where do you live at? Where do I work? I work on the military base in Washington, JBLM, if you know where that's at. If you know where that's at, then I'll tell you what I do or who I work for. If you don't know, then it probably doesn't matter. Is the barbell or dumbbell bench press better, in your opinion? I don't think one's better than the other. It would depend on what you want to do, right? Like, if you're trying to be a power lifter, you probably want to use the barbell because that's your sport. Um, you know, if you're not a power lifter, maybe dumbbell bench. Um, just depends. Like when it really comes down to it, most machines and most things in the gym are just alternate versions of something really basic. Like you're either pushing, you're pulling, or you're squatting for the most part. And so all of that stuff, it's like barbell bench. Oh, barbell incline bench, barbell decline bench, incline press machine, chest press machine, dumbbell bench, dumbbell incline bench. It's all the same shit. It's different stuff. Like if your shoulder hurts when you use the barbell, it doesn't hurt when you use the dumbbells and you hold it in a neutral position, do that then. If you like the dumbbells more, do that then. If you like the chest press machine, I don't put machines on the same level as free weights, but still. The point is, if you're doing the same motion, it's pretty much the same thing. If you're trying to be a world champion bodybuilder or something, a little bit different conversation, but for regular people, it's progression over time with whatever exercise you pick. So it's not that important. Oh, you were a soldier there from 2014 to 2017. We might have ran into each other. I can't see your profile pic from here, so I don't actually know who you are. Yeah, okay. The company I work for, I don't think it existed when you were a soldier. But I work for H2F. So it's like a holistic fitness company. We're contractors. Um, I don't know if you know, but the AFT is now the ACFT, right? So it's not push ups, sit ups, 2 mile run. It's a shitload of events. Sprint, drag, carry. trap bar deadlift, med ball toss, blah blah blah. So they brought us on as strength and conditioning coaches to get soldiers stronger because these guys can't even deadlift like a little bit over their body weight and stuff. And so this program um, is about physical health, mental health, and spiritual health, which is why we have strength and conditioning coaches, physical therapists, nutritionists, psychologists, and then we have a chaplain attached to us too. So that is where I work and who I work for. Do I like living in Washington? Honestly, it has its pros and cons. What I don't like is that there's not a lot of sun. The sun's coming out now. It's been coming out, but there's not a lot of sun. It's kind of gray up here, and you know, I don't know, man. Just it's not my vibe. Not my vibe. Not really a fan of the weather or the people, to be honest. But it's not horrible. It's a cool place to live. The pros to me, even though a lot of people complain about the crime here, I and this is where you can be like, oh, that's a personal story, it's anecdotal, but I've never felt in danger here. I'm from Texas. I've seen gun crime. I've seen like serious stuff. Like yeah, people get killed here, but it's not. I've never run into it. People like break into your car here. Like that's bad, but overall, I never like feel paranoid every day. Like it's something gonna happen. Where like in Texas, especially depending on what city you're in, it's like you might not want to stop at the stoplight because it's too late at night. Like Houston, I'm not stopping at stoplights, bro. Certain parts of Dallas, I'm not stopping at stoplights. Or red lights, yeah, stoplights, whatever. Stop signs, red lights. I'm stopping at either one of them, bro. I'm just going straight through it. So, in my opinion, do I like the new physical fitness test? Oh, you probably typed that as I was saying that earlier. Yeah, I do like it actually. Just because it's more than just your body weight. Like, and plus, I was never a fan of PFT. Before you came in, I was telling them that I used to keep my body weight down just so I could get a good score on the run because I was always like trying to max it. But I would just be like, yo, these dudes are frail, bro. Like the physical fitness studs would just be dudes that could max the run and the push-ups basically, or even if you could max all three. It's like you can't pick me up though, bro. Like you can manipulate your own body weight, which is good. That's amazing. You can't you can't lift. You can't do anything besides like this very very aerobic stuff, which isn't necessarily real life, right? It's not rucking. It's not like I said picking someone up. It's not sprinting. And a lot of guys downrange were having soft tissue injuries and even like joint injuries from being weak as hell. And so I do like this test better. It's more well rounded. Um, I don't remember exactly what the standards are right now, but sometimes I look at the standards and I'm like, that's kind of weak. I think they should crank it up. But the test itself, I don't think it's bad. I think it's a decent test. Yeah, Texas has been in the news a lot lately, man. I saw the Allen Outlet Mall shooter, and a guy in Brownsville that like ran over, I don't know, like people at a bus stop, and that was just like in the last couple of days. Before that, I don't remember if this was in Texas or not. Nah, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm not sure. I don't like saying stuff and being wrong. So, but yeah, I have been seeing Texas in the news a lot lately. Someone in my hometown, a 15-year-old in my hometown, got killed like 2 days ago. So, you know, that's Texas for you. Phil, what's 15 minutes from you? Allen? Oh, okay, yeah. You go to that Pluckers often. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. Like, and it's weird too, man. Like, I saw this tweet earlier. I think I commented on her and called her. I commented on her and called her stupid or something, but she said she didn't believe in mass shootings. She said like, nah, I think it's fake. I think they make that stuff up. I think they're lying. Fair enough, whatever. But it does kind of feel unrealistic until it happens in a place that you're from, right? Like, I see a mass shooting in Boston or something. I'm like, man, it's crazy. But like when it happens in Texas, especially like my family's from Dallas, you know what I mean? You see a mass shooting in Dallas, and you have to really check up on your people, bro. Like you really have to make sure people are alive, bro. And they tell you like, I was just at that mall, like, oh, I know the dude that got shot. He didn't die, but I know the dude that got shot. You're like, dang, like this could really happen to me. Like this could really happen to me or my family or whatever. So yeah, man. There was a mass shooting in Houston. Yeah, I mean that that doesn't surprise me. Houston. I'm not gonna say too much about Houston, but it's not great. But yeah, I mean, changing the numbers, that's not really crazy. People rush to report stuff, um, and it's real easy to mess up those numbers. But I think there's a difference in like, if you said 60 people died and then you come back and say, okay, only five died, that's different. But if you say 16 people died, um, and then you're like, sorry, sorry, 10 people died, six got injured. I don't think that's crazy. Like, I think you shouldn't have rushed to report it, but I don't think it's a crazy mistake. Do I like the governor of Texas? You talking about Mr. Abbott? I don't like him. I have nothing more to say than that. I'm not really a political person. I don't. It's not that I like hate him or something like that. I just like I don't have a reason to like him. I don't. I like automatically like if this is liking someone, this is neutral. I'm pretty much here with any politician because like you have a bunch of money, you don't care about people. Like all of them are not with regular people. They're actors. So just on that alone, like I don't like him. But like I said, it's not like some extreme hate. I don't think about him before I go to bed. I couldn't even remember his name when I read your message just now. So, bro, Phil, on God, I was gonna say wheelchair Abbott, and I was like, that sounds like super ableist or something. So I'm not gonna do it. I was like, Mr. Abbott. Oh, they changed the amount of fatalities that have to occur to call it a mass shooting. What did they change it to? You know what? They probably changed it because it used to be something like three or something, but gang shootings happen, and then you got like 500 mass shootings in the United States. They're like, oh, nah, we need to raise it up to seven or something like that. Or did they lower it? Did they lower it to make it more mass shootings? I don't actually know. I just assumed they raised it. Hold on, I'm gonna turn the light on real fast. Ah, I don't know why I turned the light on. I look the same. Um. Oh, Lord, that's crazy. Have I been to any Central American countries? No, I haven't actually. But Soon. Very, very soon. My wife's family is from Guatemala, so we're planning to go there. It'll be both of our first times. She's never been there either. And I want to visit El Salvador because Mr. Mr. Bukele, that guy, man. Do I think Guatemala is safe? I think it's safe enough to visit. I think my we know people there, so it's not like we're gonna like go there and hope that we end up in a good neighborhood or something. Like the family member that we're gonna stay with is, I'll say he's middle class. He's not in a place where we're gonna worry about crime. I'll say that. So we're good on that. But as a country, I don't know. Genuinely don't know. If I didn't know anyone there, I would look more into it. Um, but it's not Venezuela. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. They got like a decently stable economy and stuff. Like it's not. I've seen people visit. I haven't seen anyone say anything bad. Like they're definitely not like I said, the high level of violence that like Venezuela has or nothing like that. So safe enough. Safe enough. Nowhere in the world is safe. Maybe Sweden. Maybe. But whenever you go to Mexico, Central America, South America, shit, even in Eastern Europe, you are taking a risk. Tikal, maybe. We'll see. Um, yeah, you're always taking a risk. Always. Because you don't know what you're going to encounter. Especially when, you know, if there's like civil unrest, you you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna we're gonna go to we're gonna go to Colombia. And the place in Colombia that my friends live, I remember. So I was gonna go to this place, um, like 2 years ago. We'll say 2 years ago, and the government messed up my passport when I renewed it, so I had to put the trip on hold. Coincidentally, during that time, I was watching some YouTubers that went to the place that I was gonna go. This was Cali, Colombia, and there was like some protesting that was happening. The police were like, they were they were smacking up civilians, shooting. The place was locked down. They weren't letting people fly out, bro. Like this YouTuber, like I remember he was all in his room, like guys, I gotta get out of here. I loved it while I was here, but it's not safe. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. They blocked the roads, and I was like, dang, yeah, like yeah, that's the reality when you go somewhere else. Like I mean, that could happen here too, but that is just something that you have to keep in mind. Like some other people's governments don't play, bro. Like yeah, you go into a place where civil unrest can happen, protests can happen, you might get killed. Part of it. Also, I think that's pronounced Tikal, but I'm not sure. I really don't know nothing about Guatemala to be honest. I'm just thinking about. I'm trying to think of the times I heard people say it. Went from four, not including the shooter, to three shot or delete it, including shooter. There's not concrete definition. Interesting. Uh, Nicaragua, yeah. Costa Rica, I don't know, man. My wife actually just said something about Costa Rica, and I was like, no disrespect, I haven't seen a good reason to go there. I've watched videos. Like the best thing you can do, bro, is watch vlogs. Watch people walk through the streets, like real people, not big time influencers that are like trying to push a product or a narrative or something. Literally just type in like Costa Rica vlog, Costa Rica whatever. Costa Rica has like a little gang problem. And no disrespect, no disrespect. If anyone from Costa Rica happens to see this, or anyone knows someone from Costa Rica and sends them this, no disrespect. It doesn't look that great to me. Like I said, when I watch people walk around, I'm like, it's kind of dusty. It's kind of dusty. No disrespect. Like it is beautiful. It's beautiful. It just looks. It kind of looks. Uh, I don't know the word. Looks vintage. Looks kind of old. But it is. I don't know about safe. I don't know about safe. Like I said, they got a little gang problem. Let me type in. Let me type in an unbiased Google search. Costa Rica crime. Is that unbiased? If I type in crime, I'm gonna type in crime. Crime is increasing in Costa Rica, and U.S. citizens are frequent victims. While petty theft is the main problem, armed robberies have been increasing. The second search is Costa Rica safe for tourists now? Okay, but it does say Costa Rica is generally a safe place for travelers. Still, visitors should be aware of dangers before starting their journey. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, when there's like multiple articles like this, especially like this one is from April 2023. Costa Rica logged a record 657 homicides last year, with a homicide rate 5 times the national average. Or I think that's a particular place in Costa Rica. Hold on, let me look at it. Drug trafficking blamed. Okay. Limon in Costa Rica had a homicide rate 5 times the national average, but still, Costa Rica itself 657. That's kind of a lot for like a, what do you call it, an island, like a small place, bro. That's a lot of murders. Um, the bloodshed in a country better known for its laid back outlook has stirred a public outcry as the administration of President Rodrigo Chavez scrambles for answers. Yeah, see that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff alarms me. Like I said, I'm not living life like fearful or nothing like that. Yeah, 657 is a lot for a small country. It is. Um, yeah, I'm not scared to go to a place like that, but I do look at trends. Like whenever something increasing, it's gonna increase until it gets to a boiling point. Like it's not gonna just go down for no reason. Something has to be done. And usually for something to be done, something really wrong has to happen, right? So even Puerto Rico is hot, bro. Like there's a lot of murders in Puerto Rico. And what has happened in the last couple of years, especially in a particular place, um, I don't know if you ever seen a Despacito video with Justin Bieber in them, but in that place, La Perla, like they got like a the 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 thugs there have like they control that joint and they're like no recording. You can't record there. What happens is somebody doesn't get the memo every time, and someone tells them to stop recording. Maybe they don't speak Spanish. I don't know. They don't stop recording and they get killed there. Like this year, like 4 tourists got killed there, or at least stabbed. I don't know if the ones that got stabbed this year died, but I remember the one in like 2021. he got killed, and then they burned his body. Uh, and so usually stuff like that has to happen to the point that tourists kind of feel unsafe, and then some action might happen after that. But like I said, if stuff's like increasing, I don't want to go while it's increasing. I don't want to get caught up in something and they're like, oh, well, normally tourists don't get killed here, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not trying to be that guy. Even like Medellin in Colombia, like kind of hot right now. Like people don't like to admit that other places sometimes they have danger. Um, Sometimes places are dangerous. And so like Medellin, there's been a lot of foreign murders there, not necessarily Americans. There are a lot of how you say Canadians and British people, but Americans too. I saw an Asian American get killed trying to meet up with someone from Tinder, kidnapped him, stripped him, shot him or stabbed him. One of them, don't matter. He's dead. Uh, and so I'm not really, people will tell you like, well, don't get on Tinder, don't sell drugs, don't do this, don't do this. That's a lot of stuff, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be on Tinder because I have a wife. I'm not gonna be buying drugs. Uh, but it's that my point is, after you die, they're like, well, you shouldn't have been doing that. Um, Even me and my wife were watching a video, and this dude was, he was walking on the street on his cell phone, looking at his GPS. Dude walked up with a gun, took his phone. My wife's like, he shouldn't have his phone out. I'm like, bro, like, yeah, he shouldn't have his phone out. But anytime something happens, they're like, well, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done this. It's a lot of stuff to remember when that's not your lifestyle. So, like, I'm not trying to get killed and someone's like, well, he shouldn't have had his little gold chain on. I wear a gold chain everywhere I go. It's real small. You can barely see it. He shouldn't have had a cell phone in his pocket. He shouldn't have been looking like he had money. Like, bro, there's a lot of stuff that can get you killed. So, Nerd Yard. How about Cuba? I like to visit Cuba. Um, just to talk to some people. From what I've seen, I watch a lot of vlogs from people that like live in Cuba, born and raised. And it looks beautiful, man. They're living in some harsh conditions, so I don't want to like. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel bad like going somewhere where people are like living horribly, taking like, bro, they're taking baths with like this, bro. They're like filling up water, dumping on themselves. Like I kind of don't want to go there and just be like, I'm so sorry you guys live like this. Nice to meet you. I'm going back to America. I'm about to go eat a pizza and take a hot shower. Like, your life sucks. I want to go like talk to them and like see this stuff with my own eyes, but I also like don't. No, I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like guilty, I guess. And so, I would like to visit though. I would like to visit Cuba. I've seen it. I've seen it in videos. It looks beautiful. I just like it's just gonna make me sad like talking to the people that actually live there. So you've heard of foreigners dying in Panama. Yeah, like I said, man, like people die here too, right? So that will be my response. Like you have to be safe wherever you go. You have to not do stupid stuff. Generally, like generally bad stuff happens at nighttime, like late night, like walking around at 2 a.m. and stuff. But at the same time, like on Sunday, bro, I was out at like midnight, maybe 1 a.m. in Seattle, walking around. If something would have happened to me, I would have said like, why was I out so late? Like, why didn't I just go home straight after blah blah blah? But it didn't. I'm like, it's having a good time. I went to this restaurant, walked straight to my car and left. So, like I said, anytime something bad happens, someone can easily say, well, yeah, I would never get in my car and not lock the door instantly. But like, there's always a mistake that you can make. So anywhere, whether it's in this country or their country, like you can always make a mistake that's gonna get you robbed or killed or something like that. So you doubt anyone's gonna try to rob me? The problem is they're not gonna try to rob me. It's gonna kill me. So I've heard that threat more than once. You know, like I've uh, I've gotten into some disagreements. People are like, I'm not about to fight you, bro. I'm just gonna shoot you. You too big for that. I'm like, dang, bro. Like you gonna kill me because I got muscles, bro? We can't just fight. Like that's crazy. So that scares me more, bro. Someone's gonna look at me and be like, I can't take the chance of trying to rob this dude without killing him. I gotta just shoot him. Like that's scary to me. Who is Nerd Yard? Damn, I don't think I have old Ed checking your page. Yeah, yeah. Depending on where you go, Columbia would be cool. I got a lot of friends in Columbia. My dance instructor is Colombian. I mean, she's here though, but she moved from Colombia. So one of my good friends lives in Colombia still. So I'll probably stay at his house when I go. But even if not, still be a good time. Let me see if I can click this profile from this page. Oh, I can. Okay, Nerd Yard. Nerd Yard 2818. Damn, you don't got no videos. Let's see information. You just joined YouTube March 29, 2022. Nerd Yard. Huh. You got no playlists, no channels you're subscribed to. Bro, that's creepy. You just floating around on YouTube without subscribing and stuff, without putting any information in your bio. That's crazy. I probably know you, but maybe I don't. Okay, back to the chat. So, did I deploy when I was in the army? I'm gonna say no, I did not. Nah, man. When I was in the army, I was military intelligence, and my job. I gotta be careful. My job does not require me being anywhere near anything. I would sit in a building where you're not allowed to take your cell phone in, not allowed to take technology in. Sit in a building and do stuff on a super secret computer. So no, I didn't need to deploy to engage with things that might have been on a deployment. How did I get my name Quick Temper? You know what? I didn't give myself that name, and I thought up until a couple years ago that it was like a parent. But I started having some people message me like, "Hey, Mr. Temper," and I'll be like, "Bro, my name's not Temper. Like that's not my name. Like the Temper is like it's just temper, but like somebody had took the name Quick Temper. Like, but I mean like that name is self-explanatory. People call me Quick Temper because like I had a quick temper. Like I don't anymore. So like that nickname, my personality doesn't even make sense now. But it's just what it was when I started on my social media. It's been like 10 plus years now. I'm like, well, that's just who I am now. So I can't change my name to like Mr. Relax. People are gonna be like, oh, who is this guy? So I had a secret clearance. I had a top secret clearance. I had the highest clearance you can get in the army. And technically, I still have it. So, yeah. If I cared about money, I would still be doing the job that I did in the army as a civilian. But I don't care about money. I don't care about money that much. Let me say that. I care about having enough of it, but I don't care about having a lot of it. Too stressful? No, not stressful. I'm not a person that gets stressed out. If I had to use a word, I would say unfulfilling. Like some people think it's normal to wake up and not want to go to work. Like it's different waking up being tired. I wake up tired all the time. I'm like, damn, it's 4:30. Like I have to wake up at 4:30 to go to work because I train soldiers at 6 a.m. I live 45 minutes away from where I work. I need to get up early. But there's a difference waking up and being like, bro, I don't want to go to work. Like I don't care for this job. Like I don't want to keep doing this forever just because it makes a lot of money, right? I like helping people. Like I told you earlier, if I didn't like this, I wouldn't have explained what I think is, in my profession, a very basic concept, right? I would have told you, like, hey, I'll send you an article later or talk to somebody else. That's a basic concept. I like explaining stuff. I like teaching people stuff. I like helping people. I like coaching people, um, which is why I like the fitness and language stuff. Like it goes hand in hand. Like I can take the stuff that I learned, and I can teach people the same stuff. I got nothing out of my job in military intelligence. Like I did my job, and I was like, I don't want to do this, bro. Like I don't. I have no desire to do my job. Was I good at it? Sure, very. But like I said, didn't want to do it. Like it's even worse because it's like 14-hour days, not like 5 days a week, but it's like 14 hours, take a break, 14 hours, take a break, 14 hours, like 3 days on, 4 days off. It's just a lot, man. Being locked up in a room with no communication and stuff, like you already, like I said, I didn't like it. And then I'm not talking to anybody. And like, no, no, I have not considered. No, no, I never considered being a cop. I had a lot of people hit me up like, "Hey, you want to be a cop?" I'm like, "No, no, nothing about that job sounds cool to me." I would have been even more unfulfilled doing that job. I don't really have anything against cops, but not a job for me. You know, like I said earlier, I don't really ever want to get political on my YouTube, but what I tell people when things happen, when things happen with cops, I say if you're gonna be trigger happy, maybe don't be a cop. That's me. I will be way too paranoid. Like, bro, if you knew me, like I don't sit with my back to doors. When people like if someone walks up to my car, bro, I'm not even joking. I don't like no. This might sound crazy. I don't care if you're homeless or what. If you get close to my car door, I will open my car door to like try to disable you, bro. I will open my door and hit you in your kneecaps. Like you're not gonna walk up on me while I'm sitting in my car. If I don't do that, then I'm gonna speed off. Regardless, like I'm too paranoid, bro. Like I'm not. I wouldn't want to walk up to someone's car and give them a ticket because I'm gonna be like, well, what if he's had his hand on his gun right now? What if he's gonna do this? I'll be ready to shoot, bro. And I'll be one of these cops. I'll be a news story. I'll be like, bro, he killed him for no reason. I'll be like, yeah, I was scared, bro. I thought he was gonna shoot me. I just started letting off. So, no, never considered it. I know myself. Uh, any plans on picking up another language? So at one point, I started learning Brazilian Portuguese. I say that loosely because like it was literally like a little bit of time. But how do I describe this? It's probably a little weird because I spend so much time doing stuff like this. But I'm introverted, and I really value like having conversations with people. I don't really want to do stuff like just to flex it. Like it doesn't give me anything. So I know lots of people that speak Spanish. I wanted to have deeper conversations with them because they didn't speak good English. So that was a huge motivation for me to pick up my Spanish. I literally don't know a single person that speaks Portuguese. Like, yeah, it would be cool to like. I watch a lot of UFC. It would be cool to watch fighters like post fight interviews and be like, oh, I know exactly what he's saying. But like, that's not a conversation. Like, I'm not gonna get fulfillment out of that. So like, if I manage works like to the point that it's their first language, and I'm like, man, I wish I could communicate better with them. If I knew someone like that, it would motivate me to learn language because originally that's basically what made me pick up Spanish. Like I wanted to have better communication with someone who only spoke Spanish. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go hard on this because I want to be able to talk to them. I hate when people black out their windows. Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't even approach a car with blacked out windows. That's insane. I'm guessing you're a cop. Like, I feel like you are if you asked me that and you said you hate when people black out their windows. I don't know. Aren't French and Italian similar to Spanish? Yes. Yes and no. The thing with French, Italian, and Portuguese, more Portuguese than the other two, is like if you read it, you can make out a lot of it because they have like the same like Latin base, right? Like they're um like all the Romance languages are like similar, but they're spoken differently. Like if you read Portuguese, or like if I read Portuguese, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what this is saying. If you would speak that same thing, I'd be like, didn't pick up any of that. It's just because like it's spoken differently. Like the sounds are different. It's actually very similar to lots of Americans say that they know a quote unquote lot of Spanish. They're like, yeah, I know quite a bit of Spanish. I took Spanish at high school. Blah blah blah. Like people that follow me on Twitter, they always say like, oh yeah, I picked up so much Spanish reading your tweets, or like, or I don't know, like I understand a lot of your tweets. It's not the same thing because like there's so many cognates. Like if like yeah, like presidente, like they look way similar. So if you read it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's president. If someone said presidente in the middle of like I don't know a sentence, you might even hear the presidente because you don't know the sounds of the language. So similar, maybe not similar. And the thing that makes that weirder is very similar, like I said, to English and Spanish. Like if you ever heard a person that speaks English try to speak Spanish, they try to carry over their sounds into this language, which doesn't work. You'll hear people. Ooh, let me think of a word. Okay, for instance, like the word for language, right? Idioma. You'll hear Americans say like idioma, or like yeah, idioma. Like they'll say I, and then that will mess you up even more because not only will it make it hard for the native speakers to understand you, it also makes it hard for you to understand them because you're used to hearing yourself say the stuff wrong, and so when they say it right, like you don't even realize what they're saying. So that's the thing that kind of worries me about other Romance languages. I'm like, I don't want to accidentally like take my Spanish pronunciation over to Portuguese and like be saying the stuff wrong. Cause like I look at Portuguese words and I think them in my head or I say them in my head and I hear the person say it. I'm like, oh damn, that's right. The letters are different. Like Don't roast me, cause like I said, I don't study Portuguese. But I specifically remember, uh, like whatever the equivalent to verdad, like it's like verdade or something like that. Like it's totally different. Like if you read it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's got to be the word true or truth or something like that. But verdad and verdade or whatever it is, I don't know. It's not the same. So if I heard someone say verdade in the middle of a sentence, I might not even pick it up just because it's so different. You know. So yeah, just different. It's similar but different. Oh, I need to update. I don't know how my chat got behind. Go live. Okay, I came across a word on Duolingo, Prueban. It's hard to say. Um, what's hard about it? What's hard about it to you? I should say, in your opinion, what made you say it was hard? What did you try? What did you say when you tried to say it? I should ask you that. The thing about Spanish is like 100% phonetic. Not like, oh yeah, most of the time it's like this. It's like, no. If you know the vowels, if you know the sounds of the language, you can always read a word, no matter if you've never, ever, ever, ever seen it before, never, ever, ever heard it. You look at it and you say, I know all of these letters. I know exactly what they sound like, so I can read it. So if you have trouble saying that, either you don't know the sounds or your mouth just hasn't caught up to your brain yet. That's kind of normal. Normally, what catches people up, if a Spanish speaker is talking really fast, will you understand them? Me personally, yeah. Like I don't like saying that I'm fluent because like whenever you put a label on yourself, it invites people to say like, "Oh, I don't agree with that." Like, but I will say this to you. I speak Spanish every day. I have conversations with people that don't speak English. We don't speak in English. We have full conversations in Spanish. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't like. Yeah, if you call that fluency, then I'm fluent. If you don't, that's fine. But no, I don't have trouble understanding anybody that speaks Spanish. And Spanish is faster than English, but it's not actually that fast. Most people that say that just don't know the words that they're hearing, or they have no exposure to the language. Like I said, they might read a lot of Spanish or do a lot of Duolingo, but they don't have conversations. So, uh, an application like Duolingo might say, uh, voy a dejar. But like in real life, you're gonna say, boy, they hot. Like you're not gonna separate it like boy, like you're not gonna say boy like voy a dejar blah blah blah. Are you still learning a little or not really? Not really sure what that question means. I'm not really sure what that question means. Like, if you're asking, do I still like try to improve my Spanish? Yeah, all the time. Like, but I do that with my English too. Like, I read a lot in English and Spanish. I watch a lot of informational videos in English and Spanish. So, like, anything uh, that I do in English, I pretty much do in Spanish too. Like I said, I train people. Sometimes the people that I train don't speak English. So I want to make sure that I can communicate with them. That was one of the biggest reasons that I actually started learning Spanish. I had a client that didn't speak English, and I literally would have to like demonstrate everything, and I would go like, and I would do it, and I would point at her, and I would go, you do it, and like I'm like, bro, I need to figure out how to say like, tienes que hacer la sentadilla. So like I need to know how to say like vamos a hacer esto. Duolingo isn't perfect, but it's a good start for a novice to learn basics. Yeah, it is. It's just the thing is, I don't disagree with that statement at all. The thing is, when you learn from an application, you have no corrective feedback at all. In real life, if you're a baby, you're 3 years old, 2 years old, whatever, you say dumb shit. It's normal. Like I said earlier, your brain has to catch up with your mouth, or your mouth has to catch up with your brain. Sorry, opposite. So you'll hear lots of kids say, like, I'm 3 years old in English, right? And your mom, either you correct it or you don't. But you listen to real people say three. I'm 3 years old. And you go, yeah, free. No, you're 3 years old. Over time, you start, oh, it's three. Oh, it's three. Oh, three. And then as an adult, like no one says free unless they have like some kind of like serious speech impediment. The problem is that it's not happening for you on Duolingo. You're saying stuff wrong 100%. 100% you are saying stuff wrong. Instead of getting the right information, you're just further ingraining that pattern. Like I said, kids in their native language say stuff wrong with the right thing around them all day. They're just trying and they can't do it. But when you're not hearing the right thing all day and like you're not getting any feedback, you're gonna continue to make that mistake. And so like lots of people that learn that way, they will tell you, "Oh, it's impossible to get a native like accent. It's impossible to blah blah blah. It takes 10 years for this. It takes blah blah blah." Like not trying to gas myself up because I make a lot of mistakes and um I always can get better. But like when I go to Puerto Rico, like they just think that I'm the son of a Puerto Rican person. Like they don't say like, "Oh, how did you learn?" Like they just say like, but we just have conversations and they just say like, "What part of Puerto Rico are you from?" I'm like, "Oh no, so that's Estados Unidos." Oh no, like okay, well where's your dad from? Where's your mom from? I'm like, no, like I'm not from here, bro. Like I'm not from here. But that is because I learned from a native speaker. I didn't learn from an application. Like I just talked. Just like a kid, if all you hear is this, if all you know is this, all you can do is mimic what you're hearing. So you're gonna mimic a real accent. And that is like that's how you learned how to speak. No one's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you sound so American," because you are American. You learned from an American speaker. My little, not my niece, my wife's niece. I don't know what that is to me. Whatever, my niece-in-law. She talks like Peppa Pig because that's what she watches all day. She goes, "Mommy, I want this." That's normal. She'll get over that phase. But the point is, like when you hear something and you're just mimicking that, you're gonna sound like that. So like when you're mimicking an application that's speaking slow and robotic, you're gonna sound like that, especially with no corrections. But like it is good to learn basics. It's good. It's always better to do something than nothing, right? So like if you hear me talk shit about Duolingo, I'm not talking shit about Duolingo. I'm talking shit about where it leads you to. It's a great supplement. It's not a good main anything. You should be using it to learn new vocabulary, maybe learn new sentence structures, learn blah 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 that you can implement with a real life person. So this word prueban, right? You didn't know the verb probar. That's cool. Duolingo taught you the verb probar. Now you can say to your friend, like, whatever, something with the word probar. Like, like it can, like, that word can mean, like, to try, right? So you can say, like, prove, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're talking about some food, like, I tried this thing, right? Now you can try to use that in a real conversation. And the native speaker can say, like, oh, wow, good job. Or they can say, like, oh, yeah, that's not how you use that in Spanish. But when you just learn it on Duolingo and you don't do anything with it, it just, like I said, it's probably just a negative pattern. Did reading books in Spanish play a big role in your learning process? Like, does it help you with the speaking and listening part? Complex answer. Similar to Duolingo, reading can really help you with new vocabulary, right? Um, because it gives you a chance to read a word. So what happens in conversation uh, is like you don't hear everything. Like you literally like even let's pretend like you're at my level or a notch below my level and someone says something and you only catch the end of it, you don't get a chance to hear those words in the beginning, um, and then dissect it and say like, what could this mean? You don't get to do that. Like you just missed it, or you could ask them to repeat it, but even still, you might not hear it. Like if you're not at that level yet. What reading allows you to do is it allows you to see every single word and you can look at it in a full context and say this probably means this, and if you couldn't figure it out you can look it up. So either way, you just got a new vocabulary word and you got it in the context of a full sentence, right? And with that, like you're gonna build your vocabulary and you're gonna build it. Oh, my battery's getting low. You're gonna build it in context because that's another thing that happens on applications. They teach you a word and they don't give you a full correct sentence sometimes. And so you don't know that you have to use it a certain way. Like, let me think of something that people say wrong. Okay, for instance, the word tratar, right? It's like to try. In English, we say try to. So if you just learn the word tratar and you say, oh, this means try, naturally your English brain is gonna say like trato a, but it's not trato a, it's trato de, or tratar de. Voy a tratar de blah. Voy a tratar de hacer blah blah blah. You can only learn that by seeing it in full context or hearing it in full context, but you have to learn it in context. If you just look up stuff separately, you're gonna get the word and then you're gonna use it wrong. And like people might understand you, but you're still gonna be speaking crazy. In English, that would be the equivalent of saying like, "Okay, I'm gonna try from do that to you," or "I'm gonna try from do that for you." You'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna try to do that for me?" Like that sounded weird, but okay. Like you'll get the message, but it makes communication that much harder, especially if you're saying more than one sentence, right? So that is what reading can do for you. It can give you new vocabulary words and context. But to follow up with that complex answer, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, four different skills. You could speak like a champ. I know people like that I would say are okay, actually my wife is a good example. My wife is her first language. She is she can speak without thinking. She can flow for 2 minutes straight. Like she literally will tell a story in Spanish without even taking a breath, bro. Can she read? Yes. Is her vocabulary like actually like not even joking? I have like a more complex vocabulary than her in Spanish. She often asks me like, "What does this word mean?" And I'll be like, "It means this." I can't speak like her though because she has almost 30 years of speaking Spanish versus my what, 3 4 maybe. And so they're different skills. They're totally different skills. Like so if you only read, you're still gonna get to that point in conversation where someone asks you a question and they're gonna say like, "Oh, like whatever," and you're gonna be like, "Uh, see, 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 see," and you're just gonna say like "see" like 8 times, and they're gonna be like, "Okay," like that's what's gonna happen. Like there is a there's an urgency that happens in conversation that doesn't happen when you practice with yourself, and it doesn't happen when you're reading. It doesn't happen when you're listening to podcasts. You listen to a podcast and you're like, "I could have replied to all this shit. That's easy." And when someone asks you something in real life, Like, ah, ¿te ha gustado esto? You're like, sí, 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 me gustó, me encantó. But it's like you're gonna get like choked up by the moment because that's how real conversations work. That's why people have social anxiety, even in their own native language. Having conversations is it's something. You know what I mean? So, oh, that was a long answer. How much did my wife help me? She didn't help me at all. No one believes this, but like, all right, I tell you. From from the point that I couldn't speak Spanish to the point that I could have full conversations, me and my wife never spoke a word of Spanish to each other. I promise you, not a single word. Even now, the only time we speak Spanish to each other is if we're in the midst of a Spanish conversation with other people, just because like that would be it's like a little bit weird if we say something in Spanish, look at each other, say something in English, say something in Spanish, look at each other, say something in English. So like if we're having a group conversation, we speak Spanish to each other. If we're talking to our like we're just talking to each other, we never speak Spanish. Even with her mom, I will say something in Spanish to her mom. Her mom will say something in Spanish to me. She would say something in Spanish to her mom. Her mom will say something in Spanish to her. And if it's something we say to each other, I'll be like, that didn't happen. Why you lie to her like that? And then I'll speak Spanish to her mom. Like that. It's just, we met each other in English. Our relationship was in English. It's not that we can't speak Spanish to each other, it just doesn't happen. And like most of the time when you're having like real conversations, like, bro, imagine like you're trying to tell a story and you're like you want to know what the person thought about it and they're like stumbling around trying to find an answer. You're like, bro, just say it in your native language. I don't have time for this, bro. Like, so yeah, that's just what happened. Like, I'm sure like if I really wanted her to, she would have probably been patient with me, but I was like, I didn't even want to subject her to that, bro. So I just never spoke Spanish to her. I'm like, I'll figure it out. I got my friend to teach me because like I would pay him. I would pay him for his time. I'm like, you know, like, yeah, that's my wife, bro. I don't want to come home from work and like, or she comes home from work and she has a stressful day and she wants to tell me a story. And I'm like, let me reply to you in Spanish. Sit there for 30 minutes. I'm going to come up with something good. Like, no, bro, we're not doing that. So, hey, Charlie, my boy. I believe you. My wife is standing right next to me right now, and she knows she didn't help me. Yeah, yeah, you know, bro. Like it works. It works if your spouse or the person that you're interested in doesn't speak your language. I will say that. My dance instructor is from Colombia, or one of my dance instructors is from Colombia. Her spouse is from here, speaks Spanish and English, but she is learning English. So his Spanish got a lot better because he only like they only speak Spanish to each other because that's what she can speak. Like she's in the opposite position of me. Like all the English that she's learning is not coming from him. It's coming from other people. When they're in the house, they speak Spanish. When they're with us, they speak Spanish. Like yeah, so like having a spouse only helps you if they don't if they don't speak English and y'all are only speaking Spanish to each other. Yeah, you've been speaking English together for over 20 years. Imagine just being like, hey, let's only speak Spanish from now on. You'd be like, no, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, we're not doing that. Now, what I have seen, uh, in yeah, like this channel that I really like on here, Lightspeed Spanish. I've mentioned them on a lot of my videos. If I remember correctly, they do 1 week English, 1 week Spanish. So he's from like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. He's from Scotland. She's from Spain. He's been learning Spanish for a really long time, like to the point that I would say he's learning. He's super, super fluent. And so, like I said, what they do is 1 week on, 1 week off, because they're doing each other's opposite language, which is cool. But they were both also learning language, uh, from what I know, when they met each other. So it's still helpful for both of them. My wife already knows English and Spanish, so like it's not a helpful exchange to be like, let's do, or at the time, it will be good now. Like if we have kids, we already talked about that. That's probably something that we'll do. Like maybe only speak Spanish in the house. Outside of the house, you could speak English. Or we've been thinking about moving to a Spanish speaking country so they grow up speaking Spanish. Because when you come to America, bro, it's easy to pick up English. Everyone speaks English. Or if we lived in a Spanish speaking country, we could speak English in the house because everyone outside of the house will speak Spanish. Either way, they would grow up bilingual. So we're heavily considering that. But to answer your question, she didn't help. Think we might get there, but I really do think I'm gonna need to be way more fluent. Yeah, it's it's not fun, man. It's not fun. It's not fun when you can't express yourself. That's a difficult, especially if you're an expressive person. Like I'm very careful with my words. I take my time before I say stuff. If I think I'm going in the wrong direction, I'll stop. I say, hold on a second. That's not what I'm trying to say. And so, being trapped and just being like, this is not what I'm trying to say, but I don't know. I don't know anything else. And just like seeing the person like, oh, you mean this. And I'm like, no, that's not what I mean, but I don't have the level to express what I want to say. That is the worst feeling in the world, bro. Just knowing that this person is gonna walk away, never understanding what you meant. Like, never quite understanding what you actually meant. Like, that sucks, bro. So, until you get there, like, having full conversations, like, not fun, bro. You could live in El Paso where everyone speaks Spanish. I got a lot of friends in El Paso. I don't want to live in El Paso. So, but yeah, I get the idea. Maybe like Miami or something like that, like where everyone speaks Spanish. You could do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'd rather, the thing in places like that is then it's like it's not educated. Not saying that they're uneducated. I'm just saying like you're still in an English school system, so all the Spanish that you're learning is spoken Spanish. You might not know any like grammatical rules and stuff like that. If you're gonna do it, I'd rather them like go to school in Spanish and stuff, and like then they can come back here and whatever. You know what I mean? So any moments where you felt like quitting or you figured early that you were good at it? I'm struggling, but figured if I can stay with it for a year, I might have a breakthrough. Bro, I felt like quitting all the time. I felt like quitting when I got decent at it, to be honest. Like, there's just certain points where it feels like either you can't get any better or like in the beginning I just felt like I just wasn't cut out for language learning, bro. Like my dad is fluent in Arabic and when I was a kid, like straight up told me he gave me like a bunch of books that he used to learn and like he went the thing was he went to live in Jordan and learned it. He gave me a bunch of books and he was like, if you can finish these books and speak in Arabic before the like I don't know, it was like a year or something. I'll give you. It was like $3,000. It was a lot of money, bro. I was like, too easy. Started. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I quit. Took Spanish in high school. Got to Spanish 3 and I quit. Tried it on my own and I quit. And I was just like, bro, like, why can't I learn languages? Like, there must be like a gift that people have. Like, that's how I genuinely felt. But then like I watched a video one time that talked about acquiring language instead of learning it. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And I thought about how I learned English, and I'm like, yeah, I've been going about this the wrong way. And then I learned Spanish. So, yeah. Well, I should say I acquired Spanish. So, stick with it. Just make sure you're going about learning it in the right way because it doesn't matter how much time you spend if you're not learning the correct way. You'll be 5 years down the line and you'll be like still not having fluid conversations. So I know a lot of people like that. You must have a high Q to have learned so fast. I'm not gonna say I don't have a high IQ. I don't know what my IQ is, but like I just told you, I've had a lot, a lot of failures in language learning before I got to this point. So there's just a few YouTubers. If none of you, let me hold on. Let me type his name in the chat. If none of you know Mike Ben, after you get off of this, go check out Mike Ben. Oh damn! Can I not tag him? Uh, wow. Yeah. Well, whatever. If you don't know Mike Ben, go look at Mike Ben's page. He posted month one of his Spanish language learning journey. If I and I got really motivated by that. That was one of the reasons. That was one. I always give him credit. That was one of the reasons that I started taking in Spanish. And like, no disrespect to him, but I was like, yo, Mike Ben's like any guy. He's any guy in Georgia, and he just picked up Spanish. And don't get me wrong, he's super smart. But it made me realize that like I was making excuses and I wasn't doing it the right way. Mike Ben posted month one, and he posted monthly updates from no Spanish to speaking fluent Spanish. And I watched the acquiring languages video at the same time that I ran across his channel, and I'm like, this is what he's doing, whether he knows it or not. He's just straight up having conversations with people like a kid. Like kids talk, you say stuff wrong, people are like, oh, you're trying to say this. You grow, you grow, you grow. You get better at having conversations by having conversations. So and you know, Mike Ben, he doesn't really post anymore. But I stay. I'm gonna text him after I get off of here. Actually, he used to post stuff about that. He used to say, "Man, I feel like quitting Spanish. I feel like I hit uh like a plateau. I can't improve. Blah blah blah." And he would come back and he would say, "Yo, I just decided to only speak Spanish for a week and I feel so much more comfortable and blah blah blah." So every time he hit a plateau, it sounds weird and kind of like negative, but I'll be like, oh, I feel good. Like he's if he's feeling down, like I feel normal then. You know what I'm saying? So like hearing him say that, like he was at that level, feeling discouraged. I'm like, all right, I feel better now. Like that's normal. So if you feel like that, don't worry, bro. You'll get to a much higher level and you'll still feel the same way. Like you'll think you're really good at Spanish, and you'll go somewhere or someone will say something to you and you'll be like, I didn't understand any of that sentence, bro. Like if you go to Puerto Rico, people will straight up say whole sentences to you, bro, and you'll just be like, what? Like, was that real, bro? Was that a real sentence? If you go like, let me see, I went to Puerto Rico in December. If you scroll back on my page, why if you speak any Spanish, watch the videos. I posted like a 19-minute video, bro. Like just me talking to people on Ubers. You listen to them and you're just gonna be like, "Yo, what is this guy saying, bro? Like literally, what is he saying?" So it won't make you feel good. Uh, you tried jujitsu, right? Still doing it? I did. I did do jujitsu. I'm not finished with it, but I hurt my knee in December, so I was out for like 3 months from all like I couldn't do weightlifting and stuff. Just got back into weightlifting, um, like at the end of March. So I'm just kind of like returning back to stuff. I don't want to do jujitsu until like probably not June. I'm gonna compete in June or early July, and once my knee is good enough to do that, then I will add stuff on to it. Yes, Mike Ben is the goat. Charlie, I'm sure you got off of here already, but I appreciate you dropping in. Appreciate you as a human being. If you haven't watched me and Charlie's video, you should watch that because he has dyslexia and he's still learning to speak Spanish with all of the struggles that he had. Cool sub to his channel. Yeah, Mike Ben, the GOAT. I don't know, like, I don't know if he's ever gonna post again. Literally, the last time he posted, because I texted him, I'm like, Mike, you gotta post something, bro. Like, and like we did a live stream together, and that's the last time he posted. That was like a month and some change ago. So, like, his whole thing was he made his YouTube to like show his progress. And then he got to like 3 years of Spanish, and he's like, I don't have anything else to do on here, so he doesn't post anymore. But here's a you can still go through and watch all his videos. It's still dope. Who was my favorite UFC fighter? Hmm. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna assume that includes was and is. If I had to pick somebody, oh man, you put me in a little position here. I'm trying to think like who do I get excited for if I hear like, yo, he's having a fight in June. Like who am I gonna be like, oh yeah. That's a tough one. Let me come back to that. Let me think about who I like that much. That's awesome. I'm starting soon. Wishing you the best as you're recovering. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it if you stick with it. You know, like assuming you have no injuries or any problems. If you stick with it, you'll love it. I really enjoyed the time that I had with it. I'll be back to it. So John Jones, yes, I like. I like Connor in his prime. Don't really care for him outside of the octagon. Don't really care for the end of his career. But when he was good, he was good. I will say like he really only had like a left hand. But I say that, but at the same time, it was the things he would do to set up his left hand. I will give him that. Like he was smart about how he threw his left hand. Like his reaction times, the slips he would do before he threw the left hand, the karate stance that he had to make people worry about his kicks, which gave him an opportunity to land his left hand. When he was doing that, amazing. When he stopped doing that and started doing this, leaning over and getting popped by Poirier, like not so great. Don't know what he was doing at the end of his career. Don't know if he's coming back because he's doing face-offs with Mike Perry and bare knuckles. So, but I did like Connor, man. I like Connor. Like I said, his out of the cage antics a little too much for me. I like Reeve out of the cage, in the cage, in the octagon. He's okay. Uh, if I had to say like all time, honestly, inside and outside combined, like GSP. GSP was like, I don't know, man. He's just that guy. Like his attitude about fighting, his attitude about life, combined with his actual performances, I feel like it's like a common answer, but GSP's that guy, man. But John Jones is good too. He is good. And honestly, like my mind instantly goes to man, pause. But like Amanda Nunes, I would say Amanda Nunes, if we're talking about excitement, like in that sense of favorite, like there's never been a time besides the time when she lost to Juliana the first time. I knew she was gonna lose that. I called that. But besides that, there's never been a time that she was gonna fight that I was like, man, I don't want to see this. Like I'm like, I want to see this. Like she's about to piece whoever this is up. Like I want to see it. So Tito, no, he's not my favorite. He's not my favorite. No, Tito in boxing, not Tito in UFC. Nah, sadly, He's about. Let me see. When is UFC 290? He's about to fight on a prelim, bro. UFC 290. Wait, who is he fighting on that? So we got Volk versus Yair. Let me see who Tito's fighting on the undercard. I don't remember who he's fighting. I just remember seeing that he's on the prelim, bro. And I'm like, for your retirement fight, bro, that sucks. Especially because he's probably gonna lose. So we got Volk versus Yair. We got Brandon Moreno versus. Oh damn, the screen just glitched. Where's he at? We got. Oh no, sorry, that was Robbie Lawler. I'm thinking of. Sorry, my scrambled. No, Robbie Lawler's fighting Nico Price. I'm tripping. Tito's still not my favorite though. But yeah, Robbie Lawler, bottom of the card, trash. So who is Tito fighting? I saw Tito. Phil, are you still on here? Who's Tito fighting, bro? Cause I know I saw Tito pop up somewhere and it said he was gonna fight. Let me just type in Tito. But yeah, on that same note, yeah, he did have a terrible end to his career. But on that same note, one of those old school guys, like if he like they look good back in the day, but you would only like them and respect their style still if you stopped watching. Like I feel like people that I know that used to watch, they'd be like, yeah, oh man, I used to love Iceman Chuck Liddell. But like if you look at Chuck Liddell shit now, bro, you're like, yo, this dude was literally just like anybody's dad from a barbecue, bro. Like there was no like he was just swinging like haymakers. So like when you look at like where the skill level of the sport has gone now compared to those dudes, it's hard to look at them and be like, oh man, I love Chuck Liddell. Like it's just like, ooh, like he was good for his time, but bro, like he was not good. Tito, all those dudes. Like I said, GSP was like a real martial artist, but yeah, hard to compare high school family and current family. Yeah, I used to get hype about Chuck Liddell because I'm like, bro, you know he's about to. But looking at it now, I'm just like, yo, this dude was literally just like swinging with his chin up and his eyes closed, and just like he was just literally tougher than people, bro. Like and dropped them. But now, bro, if he fought now, like it wouldn't even like anybody's beating him, bro. Yeah, Rampage, all those dudes. Hey, what was man, what's the old dude's name? Rashad, where's he at now? I felt like I saw him make a comeback or something, and then did he get beat up or did he just end up not doing it? Bellator? Damn, everybody in Bellator. Oh yeah, that was 2022. Secured his first victory since November 2013. That's crazy. Like, how you even come back after like 10 years and just be like, you know what? I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight. Yeah. It's a lot of those dudes in Bellator where you're just like, bro, give it up. Give it up. I'm scared it's gonna happen to Yoel Romero, bro. Like, I want him to like get a dub and just Just be like, you know what? I'm old. I'm over it. Like, I just want him to stop, bro, before somebody knocks him out. Will Francis Ngannou come back? No. Dana White says he's not coming back. Uh, like two of these leagues have rejected him now. He should have retired after Izzy Facts. Who would I say the GOAT? John Jones? Uh, yeah, I guess so. I don't know, man. I'm not really into greatest of all time talks. Like even in boxing, which is like my primary sport. Like it's so hard to compare people to people, man. I just say like this dude is great. This dude is great. Like when you say greatest of all time, like you're saying like to me, you would only say that if there wasn't a debate. Like if someone did like some impossible shit and no one else got close to it, I'll say he's the greatest of all time. If there can be an argument, to me, you're not the greatest of all time. Y'all are both just great. If it was that clear, we wouldn't be talking about it, right? So, I just like, yeah, I don't really like cross comparing, especially across generations and stuff, or different competition levels, different weight classes. It's just so hard, bro. Like, yeah, Anderson stayed too long. If he didn't stay that long, he just left. We might just be saying like, yo, he would have killed everyone if he decided to stay because we wouldn't have got to see what happened. It's the same thing people do with Tyson. If he didn't go to jail, this would have happened. But it's like, but he did go to jail and he did get his ass whooped. Ah, somebody just got killed, bro. That was a lot of gunshots, and there wasn't no shots back. I'm sure we'll be hearing some sirens shortly. Well, yeah, there was some shots back. Hmm. Yeah, somebody's crying now. Somebody's crying. Well, damn, that's sad, man. Uh, yeah, it kind of just ruined the mood. But nah, I've heard Tacoma is a little dangerous. I'm not in Tacoma. I'm in Renton, and there's never gunshots here. That's why when I heard it, I'm like, what the fuck? Like that might be my that's my key to move out of here. Nah, it's not the hood, bro. That's just America, dog. Like you're one day away from being next to a shooting. I don't know where you live at, but you're one day away from it too, bro. So don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. Let me see. I'm at 4%. I'm gonna stay on for 5 more minutes. I think my battery will last me that, and then get ready for work. That comment is funny. I just said, "Damn, bro, you live in the hood." Nah, I don't, bro. I promise you. I promise you, bro. Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying, but I remember saying something about not cross comparing. Yeah, not just America. Yeah, I don't really like cross comparing the greats like that. Like, it's too tough, man. I get tired of seeing that shit on Twitter too, man. People are like, "Well, Khabib only defended his title this many times, and he only won this many fights," and it's like, "Well, this guy only." It's like, bro, you comparing this dude to someone 15 years ago that didn't have the same competition. I'm not saying that the competition wasn't as good. It's literally not the same people. Like, Yeah, if you lived in 1930, bro, in boxing, your competition wasn't as stiff as it is now, bro. Literally everybody in the world is a boxer now. So they got all these different belts. You gotta try to become undisputed with all these belts and stuff. So like even the undisputed stuff, like I like the concept of being undisputed, but that shit didn't exist like 50 years ago. So when you say like this guy is the only guy in the history of 147 to be undisputed, it's like, well, yeah, because it didn't exist back then. And so like people are like, well, how's he not the GOAT when he is undisputed in two different weight classes and no one ever did that before? It's like they literally couldn't do it before, bro. Like, I don't think that takes away from how great they were. But then again, who was fighting back then? I don't know. You can't tell how good they were compared to the guys now. Like, everyone's way bigger and faster and stronger now. So do you compare it to their level of competition, or do you compare it to now? Like the dudes that played in the very first NFL game, they would probably get killed, like literally get killed in a real NFL game today. Does that mean that they're not good? I don't know. Oh, yeah, there's the sirens. Damn, that was real. But yeah, like I don't know, man. I like I said, not really into the cross comparing stuff. Um, but even now, unfair folks fight like four times. Yeah, yeah. Jim Brown, that's my guy right there. Yeah, yeah. Even in like track and field, man, you look at records from like 100 years ago. You're like, motherfuckers, 9 year olds run that now, bro. Like, it's not to say that they weren't fast. Like they were fast. Like they didn't have the spikes that we have. They didn't have the same track that we have. They were these motherfuckers were basically running on asphalt, bro, or like gravel. Like they literally couldn't get the same grip that we get. Like we got certain type of tracks now, and then your spikes dig into the track to pull you better. Yeah, some dude running on wet grass and tennis shoes ain't gonna run as fast. So uh, it's you can't make that comparison. Now there's some people like that transcend like Jesse Owens, right? Don't know exactly what time he ran, but we know he was fast. He pissed Hitler off. Um, Same with basketball. Yeah, who's my favorite boxer right now or of all time? Right now, I'll say Canelo. Canelo. Uh, there's a few Cuban boxers I like too. Robesi Ramirez, David Moreau Jr. They're like more like up and comers, but I like those two. Canelo. Um, that's who I like watching the most. There's a guy, Inoue in Japan. I like watching him too. I don't know. I got a lot of favorite boxers. All time, Pernell Whitaker is one of my favorite boxers of all time to watch. George Foreman too. Beast. 10-6 got you last place in the 6 at 100 meters. Oh, facts. Oh, when I tell people that I didn't make a district with my 100 time, they're like, bro, that would have won state in my Oh, I can see the police. They're like, I would have that would have won state in my city or in my state. I'm like, yeah, you ain't from Texas. You ain't from you ain't from Central Texas. I'm sorry I had to witness that crime on my live stream. I feel like I traumatized y'all. My bad. If I would have known someone was gonna get clapped, I would have turned the phone off. Now I gotta check the news and see what happened, bro. The craziest thing was after it happened, somebody screamed and then they ain't screaming no more. So I'm guessing they left. All right, y'all. It's about to be a lot of sirens, so I might as well just get off right now. I appreciate y'all for watching. It was popping up in here today. 120 minutes, and like I think at the peak of it, there's like send me that news link. I got you, bro. I'm about to get out right now and see what happened. I'm not gonna go outside because yeah, they're dead, bro. Sadly. I'm watching, bro. Like literally five cops just there. It's like cops just coming by, bro. So I know it was serious, bro. That that sucks. That was a lot of gunshots, man. That was unfortunate. So, anyways, sorry to leave y'all with that, but appreciate y'all. I'll be back on here tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be on live, but I got